Welcome to Gillespie, Illinois. These are some shots of what the town looks like today. And in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what we want the town to look like going forward and steps we've taken in order to try to make that happen. But first, we're going to go back a little bit and we're going to take a look at what Gillespie looked like just a few years ago, circa 2017. If you drive down the main street of Gillespie, Illinois, you'll think it's just a regular central Illinois small town. And you'd be right. It is. You may know that the street you're driving on is part of historic Route 66, or the Mother Road. You may not know some of the other important parts of the history of the community. You may not see it if you're just driving by at 35 or 40 miles per hour. If you take a closer look and you see some of the details of the community, you may just realize something. Not everything was sunshine and roses in Gillespie. Downtown, we had boarded up businesses, vacant buildings. Our infrastructure was literally crumbling under our feet in some places, and our housing stock needed attention. So as we start 2022, what things have changed from just a few years ago? A lot, an awful lot. Concerning infrastructure, we have replaced all of our water lines in town. And in terms of housing, multiple new units have been built and more on the drawing board. Downtown, we have filled up almost all of our empty buildings with new businesses. So how do we do it? By doing a lot of little things and not being afraid to ask for help. Ask for a lot of help from a lot of people. Or as a wise man once said, without a plan, there's no attack, no victory. And we really dove into planning. We realized we couldn't just sit back and wait for things to improve. So we organized ourselves in a grassroots effort to try to improve our town. We knew there was a lot to do, but we were confident we'd be able to accomplish things. We just had to stick with it and keep going. Even with all our enthusiasm, we realized we needed help and guidance. We looked for a partner, and we found it in Illinois Extension. We started a plan with the help of Zack and Gabe. They made trip after trip down to Gillespie from 2018 to 19, meeting with our residents and our planning committee, helping us go through the minefield that planning can be. We kicked around ideas, we counted resources, we did SWOT analysis. And over time, we came up with some things we wanted to see happen. And those concepts we turned into our plan. We focused on attainable goals that would produce visible results. And we wanted to begin with existing assets and build upon them. We decided to try to stick to task until we completed them. Notice I said try, because that was much more difficult than we would have ever assumed. These goals translated into our current development mantra. Live here, shop here, smile here. We also realized we needed to continually reevaluate our plan based upon what was happening and how we were doing. And we also recognized that we needed to bring in new allies to help us. So that's what we did, and we added some key new partners to our mix. SIUE, WIU, and the Illinois Housing Development Authority joined the team. Each partner was solicited to help us implement a specific aspect of the plan. The Successful Communities Collaborative helped us with marketing, and the Peace Corps Fellowship Program provided with professional expertise and youthful exuberance. That experience and exuberance was courtesy of Ethan Fogg, our Peace Corps Fellow, who was a major contributor to our effort over the past 11 months. I don't know if we would have got anywhere near as much done without Ethan's help, and we owe him an extreme debt of gratitude. Which takes us to goal number 1. Live here. We've linked up with the Illinois Housing Development Authority to jumpstart a bottoms-up revitalization of our housing stock so we can have the widest possible range of high-quality housing. And that sub-plan has several components. Some housing that cannot be renovated will be demolished. But priority will be given to properties that can and should be renovated. And an aggressive effort will be made to create dynamic new options in housing. Some of the construction would be in a new subdivision dedicated to affordable, very energy efficient housings within a new tax increment finance district. The subdivision will provide affordable single-family housing designed to fit young families and retirees, built with sustainable green technology. That's our goal. And that is exactly the type of housing we need to attract and keep young families here in Gillespie. So how are we doing on that? Well, working with the Macoupin Housing Authority, 2 new housing developments have been completed within Gillespie as we enter 2022. And at the December meeting, the Gillespie City Council approved the initial enabling ordinance for the new housing TIF, and we expect it to be certified in June of this summer. Goal number 2, shop here. A study found that businesses in Gillespie had sales of nearly $19 million in 2019, but based on population, we had potential sales of $35 million. So there's $16 million on the table that we can increase local sales. $16 million represents not just money existing businesses can capture, but also a viable market for would-be entrepreneurs who start new businesses here in Gillespie. Our strategy is to focus on growing entrepreneurs, and that means creating programs and support networks that increase the odds our new businesses will succeed. Programs and facilities like the pop-up shop and the Sync Seed Business Incubator. So how are we doing on that one? Well, since the adoption of our plan, and even during the COVID pandemic, we've seen 15 new businesses within the 4-block downtown area. And most of these new businesses are located in previously vacant downtown buildings. Those businesses include Gotcha Latte Cafe, OC Salon, the Lab Supplement Store, Hair by Katie Eccles, Ageless Apparel, Oliver & Company Pet Care, Cal's Custom Auto, G-Pie Burgers, Freddy's Grab and Go, C. Joe's Saloon, Dee Dee's Floral and Gifts, Pete & Sons Collectibles, Black Diamond Days Offices, Barb Baker Art Studio, Headbanger Salon, all open since 2018. And all of these businesses are the result of homegrown local entrepreneurs. But the downtown centerpiece is the Illinois Coal Museum at Gillespie. Vacant for over a decade, this building was gifted to the city, and the museum group in turn then has slowly improved it to make it one of the most attractive buildings in downtown Gillespie and a real gathering spot for the entire community, as well as a custodian for our area's culture and history. But our biggest project is the Streetscape, and the plan acknowledges the importance of creating big visual physical improvements. And that is the goal of the Streetscape, and we hope to have it completed by 2023. Lane Kanoki, Local Boy Made Good, is the author of the Streetscape design, and we are extremely appreciative of all the hard work Lane did for us as a member of Grow Gillespie and the good work he's doing with U of I Extension. He used the following principles when he came up with the design. The streetscape would be the key to revitalizing the downtown area, but it would also provide better stormwater management practices, improved ADA accessibility, better lighting, more efficient lighting, increase the number of parking spaces, corridor for special events, areas for parks, art displays, and overall just a more inviting and comfortable downtown experience. Downtown isn't really very long. It's only 4 blocks. But it is pretty wide, almost 75 feet from curb to curb. And that can be difficult for pedestrians. So one of the aims is to improve safety for pedestrians and cars by narrowing the crosswalks and also making ADA access much better in those same areas. You can see it here on McCubbin Street looking south. Look how wide that is. And look how much safer it is for those pedestrians now that we've created the bump outs, and how much easier it is for someone in a vehicle that has a disability able to disembark and then get access to the sidewalks. But those bump outs aren't just pretty and safety factors. They're also a key to making stormwater containment better and greener. So how are we doing on that one? Well, some of the sidewalk work has been done in some of the connecting areas. We hope the entire project will be done by 2023. But the city has already achieved major progress by cutting operating costs environmentally. We installed solar panels to power our water plant, and that saves us over $60,000 a year in operating costs. Yeah, the streetscape is a big, pretty expensive project. So we knew we needed to explain it to residents and make them understand that it could be done. So how did we do that? That's a real good question. And the answer is basic. Explaining, promoting, and engaging. We generated as much publicity in as many places as we could. We met with people. We visually showed them what we had planned. We had town hall meetings. We put things on Facebook, on Instagram. We did all the things that we could think of to promote our project. And we also made extensive use of internet videos like this one. So how are we doing on the pop-up shop and its development? Well, the pop-up shop is open for business. And any Grow Gillespie member can showcase their products there. It's located right next to the Coal Museum, down in the center of downtown. Goal number 3, smile here. It's really a quality of life experience. And we're doing the things that make life more enjoyable, more stimulating, and we hope more fun. We've added recreational facilities to downtown. Angel's Fitness, Dinger's Batting Cages, Off the Fringe Golf, and the Colonial Giving Garden and Pocket Park. The Colonial Giving Garden, that's one of our big achievements. It sits on the site of the former Colonial Theater where the Progressive Mine Workers Union was formed in 1932. Produce raised there by volunteers donated to the local food pantry, and there's also a pocket park and meditative site. We cut the following video to promote and commemorate its development. If you wonder how tranquil it is, well, just listen to this from last summer. Project report, smile here. Using Giving Garden as our eastern anchor to downtown, we have dissected the central business district and created an arts and entertainment corridor. It's designed to create another reason for people to come downtown and provide them with a meaningful experience. It makes use of the existing assets of the city library, the Coal Museum, and the murals in the downtown area, as well as the Colonial Giving Garden. This is what it looked like before we started, and what we think it will look like after the streetscape is done. Marcella Cloud of Macoupin Art Collective, one of our advisors, can explain better than me why.
People want to support the arts. They want to support art and small communities. They want a reason to come downtown and have an experience and not just purchase a thing. They want something that is impactful, that lasts. They want to learn how to do things. They don't want to walk into a store just to spend the money. And when you have those things, when you have those experiences that you can have, it helps all the other parts of a community. It helps the bakery, it helps a restaurant across the street, it helps a gas station, it helps the pharmacy that might have the tape or the gift wrap or the flower shop or. It helps all of those things.
Well said. So how are we doing on goal number 3 in terms of the arts corridor? Well, we've started sidewalk repairs on East Chestnut Street. And that area has already become a staging ground for multiple events, including our 5K runs, street fairs, and some pretty neat cultural events. So how are we paying for all this? Well, we'll show you the money. The largest chunk came by our then state senator, Andy Menard, now deputy governor, who secured us $1 million grant for the Streetscape project. But most of the balance of funds are from programs we put in place years ago, including Downtown Increment Tax District, the Revolving Loan Fund, some new money from the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, money from our sewer fund, and money from motor fuel taxes. Here's how it breaks out in terms of literally by category how we are going to pay for the Streetscape project. All these funds are in hand. We've cleared environmentals on each one of them. And we hope to have the entire project out for bid by early this summer and construction beginning by this fall. Yeah, $2.6 million. In terms of waterline replacement, it was an $11 million project. It was financed by USJRD. $6.5 million in loan money, $4.5 million in grant money. The housing, the two developments that have been funded to date were done by the Macoupin County Housing Authority, and the TIF will be self-financing. The solar panels cost us a little over $400,000 a year out of pocket, but they save us $2,400 a month on power bills, and they generate a little over $40,000 in income from solar credits. And you can see the optimism we have in our newest video, which highlights next year.